Jared's written who's in, who's out with the linebacker position. We talked a little bit about Diabate in the previous segment. So out, Tay Davis signed with Atlanta, Deion Jones, Reggie Ragland, Jermaine Carter, still free agents. Re-signed Anthony Walker, Sione Takitaki, Kunasik, and they brought in Matthew Adams. And Jared, when you figure that out, Adams is primarily a special teams guy. They got him because of Bubba Ventrone. Kunasik, another guy that you expect, just what you're hearing, a special teams guy. Those two are probably going to be on the 53 and relied on heavily on special teams.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The linebacker group didn't play well under Joe Woods, and they're basically assuming that the improved defensive line and Jim Schwartz are going to make this linebacker group better, right? Now, obviously, some of that was injury. Last year, they just seemed to lose a linebacker every game, starting in like week 3, week 4, somewhere in that area. But you really are looking at a really interesting linebacker group. Deion Jones, Reggie Ragland, and Carter were all brought in to basically replace injured players, and they brought back all of those guys. Takitaki looked pretty good and using in a different role than he's been used since he came to Cleveland. He's primarily been kind of that Sam, strong linebacker, rarely used kind of on running downs, but they needed him a little bit more before he tore his ACL. The problem for Takitaki is he tore his ACL late in the season. We don't even know when really he's going to be back. Walker got injured early in the season. And then, like you said, Kunasik, Adams, those are special teams guys. So it's really interesting and they didn't draft anybody, right? Diabate is the undrafted free agent. So it's really interesting to kind of have an idea of who's going to be on the field a lot. You know, is it possible we're going to see Owusu-Koramoah, Zadarius Smith, Myles Garrett as kind of a de facto linebacker and have 5 defensive linemen on the field? Because you really don't have a lot of linebackers that you're going to feel confident in to have in for 3 downs outside of JOK and Anthony Walker. So it just creates kind of an interesting thing to watch as the season goes on. Are we looking at more 5 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, similar to, we talked a lot about Joe Woods wanting a lot of 3 safeties? Is that maybe an adjustment Jim Schwartz does, something we don't see a ton, but that bare front is becoming more and more popular in the NFL.
Yeah, and Jim Schwartz has said that he thinks that, he said it's got to see how it shakes out, but he thinks he will play 5 down linemen. So